This video was made possible by our generous supporters on Patreon. Check out patreon.com/NWR for all the details.
Since early 2017, right before the Nintendo Switch launched, Nintendo has hosted a number of indie-focused video presentations every year. We've seen a lot of great games come up through the Nindie Showcases and Indie World streams. At this point, most of those games have come out, but there are still a few we're waiting for. As we wait for the next Indie World to air, let's take a look back on what we're still looking for. First revealed in August 2017, Super Meat Boy Forever holds the status as the cagey veteran of the unreleased Nindies. It was first due out in early 2018, but various delays have pushed it back over the years. The game is firmly in it'll release when it's damn well ready territory. As of now, the optimist in me hopes for a late 2020 debut, but realistically, I expect that it'll probably slip to 2021, especially with the, whole coronavirus thing. It would be another year before we have another Nindie Showcase where there are games that are still not out. In August 2018, we had a number of games that we're still waiting for. One of them is Bullet Age, a co-op 2D platformer that was supposedly due out later in 2018. Well, that didn't happen. Currently, Bullet Age is listed for a fall 2020 release. Its Steam page actually calls out September 25th as its anticipated release date. Another game from that same August 2018 video is Samurai Gun 2. It's a sequel to a local multiplayer classic, and it was first listed as early 2019. It didn't happen. But Samurai Gun 2 is still without a narrowed down release date. Once again, it seems to be in the it'll release when it's damn well ready territory. It was playable at PAX East 2020, which was basically the last in-game event for video games, so that was cool that it was there. It looked very fun. It's being published by Double Fine, which is a company that is now owned by Microsoft, so that could be complicating things, but who knows? Samurai Gun 2, optimistically, should be out soon. One of the wonderful surprises of that summer 2018 Nindie Showcase video was Miniko's Night Market, which was first slated for an early 2019 release. A delay was announced as 2019 started, but back in June 2020, the official Twitter account said, and I quote, "We're moving into an exciting new stage of development and we'll have lots more, finally, to share with you soon. But for now, please enjoy Miniko having a cozy tea break at home with her dad. Thanks again for sticking with us." So that tweet is definitely very optimistic, and I don't know about you guys, but that makes me think that maybe Miniko's Night Market could be in the next Indie World. That could be exciting. I look forward to it. The last of the August 2018 bunch is King of the Hat, which was due out in early 2019 on Switch, which, it didn't happen. If it did, it wouldn't be on this list. However, it did come out on the Discord Game Store in late 2018. It's okay if that's the first you heard about the Discord Game Store, because I totally forgot that it was a thing until I saw that King of the Hat came out there back in 2018. Recently, King of the Hat was confirmed for a late 2020 launch on Steam. Hopefully the Switch version isn't too far behind that. Now we go to March 2019, and there's only 2 games from that showcase. One of them is The Red Lantern, which was that compelling roguelike dog sledding game that was revealed during that Nindie Showcase. It was originally slated for a release later in 2019, and then it was eventually pushed to 2020. As of PAX East 2020, The Red Lantern was still aiming to come to Switch this calendar year. Hopefully that's still the case. The second game we're waiting for from the spring 2019 Nindie Showcase is Vlambeer Arcade, or more specifically, Ultrabugs. So Vlambeer came to Switch with Nuclear Throne, Super Crate Box, and supposedly Ultrabugs. 2 of those 3 are out now, but Ultrabugs, a shoot-'em-up designed to be a polished arcade-like experience, was going to be part of Van Bleer Arcade, which is supposed to have a bunch of small, polished arcade-like experiences. That game is still not out. It was initially planned for a late 2019 launch, that is currently pushed to a rough TBD release that could be sometime in 2020. Maybe we will hear more soon, and it could be something that could happen maybe any day now. So there is one game that is actually hitting any day now, and it's one from the August 2019 Indie World video, and that's Best Friend Forever. It was first revealed for a Valentine's Day 2020 release, however, a variety of delays eventually hit, some even kind of COVID related, and that pushed Best Friend Forever back to August 27th, which, as of the time this video is going up, is like a week or so away, so be excited for Best Friend Forever. It's got a release date now. Fogs, the floppy physics game with dogs, was also a part of the August 2019 presentation, and it was listed for an early 2020 release. That was eventually pushed to June, but after coronavirus hit, Fogs slipped a little further and is now due out late in 2020. Another of the summer 2019 reveals is Spiritfarer, which was first listed for a spring 2020 release. That, well, didn't happen, we're in summer now. It's since slipped to a nebulous 2020 release window. I get excited at every piece of news from the developer, but usually it's something about Spiritfarer coming to another platform. Did you hear it's going to be on Stadia? Hopefully we'll hear more about this game really soon. Another part of the August 2019 show was Dungeon Defenders Awakened, which was slated for a console-first launch in February 2020. The game was pushed back and came to PC, first in early access in 2020, and then as a full release in May 2020. The Switch game was supposed to come out with the PC 1.0 release, but that did not happen yet, and as of now, Dungeon Defenders Awakened is set to come to Switch sometime in 2020. Europa was set for a winter 2019 release initially. Now it's currently TBD on Switch. The game actually already is out on PC. It came out in 2018 and it has a very good reception over there. As of now, I haven't been able to find any kind of updated release window, but hopefully there will be an update soon. The game looks pretty neat. Another of the summer 2019 games was Skater XL. It was shown back then and said it was coming to Switch in 2020, which, that's still on the table. And that could be happening, but it's worth noting that Skater XL came out on most other platforms at the end of July this year. The Switch version was initially slated for that same day, but was pushed to later in the year, so now we wait for a specific release date. Roke was announced for Switch in the summer 2019 video, and recently came out on PC. The Switch version was first supposed to come out during the winter of 2019, but obviously since it's not out yet, it's not out yet. That's once again why it's on this list. As of now, Roke should come to Switch soon, ideally before the end of the year. And to round out the summer 2019 Indie World show, we have Eastward, a game from Chucklefish, due out in 2020. And hey, we're in 2020 right now. Eastward could still come out on time. Alright, so for the December 2019 and March 2020 Indie World videos, I'm just gonna kind of more quickly go over the unreleased games since, most of them technically aren't delayed. Some of them, were just coming in 2020, and guess what? They can still hit in 2020. So, here we go. We got Axiom Verge 2, which was listed for fall 2020. Hopefully that's still on track, but who knows? We also have Bacon Switch, which was set for summer 2020. Technically, we're still in summer. I think it might be coming soon. We'll probably find out more, soon. Boyfriend Dungeon from Kit Fox Games was supposed to be coming out in 2020, and we're in 2020. They've got a couple more months to get it so it's, not delayed. we have Dreamscaper, which was slated for release in early 2020, so that means that one did get delayed a little bit. It actually just released on early access on Steam. That should probably push back the Switch release to 2021, since their early access plans are kind of talking about how it's going to be like 6 months to a year before they're at 1.0, which you would imagine that might be when the Switch version would hit at the earliest. We also have Gleam Light, which was first announced for early 2020, but that actually just got a release date. It's coming out on August 20th. Then we have Sailforth, which is listed for 2020. That's still hopefully on tap for 2020. It actually showed up in some of those the Summer Games Festivals a few weeks ago. Skatebird, which is another game that if you did any of the Steam Summer Games Festival stuff, you could have played the demo for Skatebird. That was first announced as late 2020. That has officially been delayed to 2021. I believe they're adding kind of a story mode, which should be fun. Next up is Sports Story, which is probably a game that you all came here to get an update on, and unfortunately, there's not really good news right now. So back in the December 2019 video, it was shown for a mid-2020 release date, which is already kind of weird and specific. Like, is that just like June 30th or July 1st, whatever the exact middle of the year is? But regardless, we're past that date already, it didn't happen, and then literally as I was finishing this video, the Sports Story devs Sidebar Games posted a tweet saying that Sports Story is delayed. They did not give any specifics as to exactly how long the delay is, but I think at best we're looking at late 2020 or sometime in 2021. So that's a bummer. The last one from the December batch is The Survivalists, which was, well, it was listed for 2020, and guess what? It's still 2020. And now we move on to March 2020. It's worth noting that the Spring 2020 Indie World Show came out quite literally when COVID-19 became a much larger issue across America and the entire world. It aired around the time when public events like E3 were being cancelled, and a number of video games started to see delays due to the impact of the pandemic. Video game release dates are already very transient, shifting constantly. Toss in a virus that is affecting everything from development to distribution, and release dates become even flimsier. That being said, I consider it a victory if any of the March 2020 games stick their release date as mentioned in the original presentation. That all being said, let's go with the games that were in the Spring 2020 Indie World video. So first up, there's Blue Fire, which was summer 2020, and now that has been set officially for a Q1 2021 release date. Then there's Baldo, which was set for a summer 2020 timed console exclusive launch. There's still a little bit of summer left. You got until like mid-September before you start being a liar. I Am Dead, which was announced for 2020, that release date is currently planned for September, and it seems like it's on track. Bark, the cute little dog shooter game, that's got late 2020, and that could still happen. Cyanide and Happiness Freakpocalypse, that was listed for summer 2020, and it's as I said, still summer. Quantum League, that's supposed to come out in late 2020. It launched in Steam Early Access back in May, so for all we know, that could hit before the end of the year on Switch. The Good Life was announced for 2020, and well, we're still in that year. The Last Campfire was announced for summer 2020, and well, it's still summer. Pixel Junk Eden 2, summer 2020, once again, still summer, guys. Eldest Souls, which was announced for, you guessed it, summer 2020, and we're still in summer. Ghost of a Tale was announced for spring. It's already out on other platforms, and clearly, since it's not out on Switch yet, it was delayed past spring. We're out of that season. We're in summer, if you couldn't tell from the past couple games. But don't you worry, I'm going to remind you, because Sky Children of Light, which is coming from the Journey developers at that game company, that was listed for summer, and it's still summer, so maybe that game's coming out soon. We got Wingspan, which was set for spring, and that has been delayed to later in 2020. I think the window might be summer, but that seems a little flexible. Dicey Dungeons was announced for 2020, and we're still in 2020. And finally, Bounty Battle was listed for a summer release, and that should come in right under the wire. It was actually given a release date back in July, then some last minute things delayed it, and now it has a release date of September 10th. So there you have it. There's a nice little roundup of the Indie World and Nindie Showcase games of years past that still haven't come out on Switch. I hope you found a use for all that information, and I hope you'll join us in where we watch and cover the upcoming Indie World presentation. I'm very excited for it. A lot of these games turn out to be excellent. And it's very exciting to see Nintendo, do stuff with indie developers, because those guys make good games, and I would like to play those games, and I like the curation that Nintendo does with those games, because guess what? A lot of great things have come out of the Indie World videos, and I look forward to seeing more of that. So thank you for watching, and bye.
This video was made possible by our generous supporters on Patreon. Did you know that Nintendo World Report is funded directly by fans like you? When you support Nintendo World Report on Patreon, you get immediate access to multiple exclusive podcasts every month, exclusive Discord channels, an early look at select content, and more, all for as little as $1 a month. Check out patreon.com/NWR for all the details.